Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It feels so good but so weird to say that because I've been wanting to do YouTube for so long now and I'm finally just now doing it. I'm really excited but also pretty nervous just because speaking to an audience is definitely a fear of mine, and that's definitely the reason why I've been procrastinating and doing YouTube for so long. So keep that in mind as you watch this video. Just go easy on me for now. I'm just learning. Talking to a camera is really weird. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to achieve this very sculpted yet still natural makeup look. This is honestly one of my go-to looks. It is super wearable, still pretty natural, but it definitely feels a little bit glam, so I do love that. This makeup look is great for photos, great for just out in real life as well, so if you want to know how to achieve this look, keep watching. Also, one more thing before we move on into the video, I am doing a huge giveaway on my Banco Beauty Instagram. I will have the link in the description down below. You definitely do not want to miss this. I'm giving away over $900 worth of makeup, so head on over there to see all the details for that. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So step number one for me when I'm going for a sculpted look will always be contouring. You want to start contouring with a cooler tone so it mimics the natural shadows that would naturally occur on your face. Basically what we're trying to do is we're going to try and cheat a new bone structure essentially. So to contour, I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in the shade Light Medium. So if you feel your cheekbone, you can feel the hollow part. Where you're gonna want to apply your contour is right above the hollowest part of your cheek. I'm gonna apply my contour right on top of that, just a small amount. I'm just gonna start blending that out. And the technique that I'm doing for this is I'm going to drag this up towards my hairline. You're not gonna see me really dragging this down like this. I'm more so lifting up and dragging up. Careful to not drag the product down below where we applied it. If you blend it or apply it too low, not to worry, I will show you guys a trick later to clean that up and sharpen it. But do keep in mind, avoid this area because it does make you look like your cheekbones are sitting lower, a bit more sunken. Not the look we're going for today. By the way, I probably should have said this right off the bat, but I do have my base applied. I've got foundation, concealer, brows, and lip, but those aren't super important to getting a sculpted look. So however you do those things, do that and then you can follow along with this tutorial. I really do love the way this contour stick blends out. It blends so easily. The color is gorgeous. I would like to try one shade lighter as well for my skin tone, but this one is really good for contouring. I'm also going to take that contour stick a little bit on my forehead. I'm just blending this out with that same brush. Again, not going too far in the centers here. We want to keep the center of our face looking really bright and lifted. I'm gonna go ahead and contour my jawline now. So I probably don't need to do this because I already have a bit of a like handsome Squidward jaw going because I grind my teeth and my jaw muscles are so strong. But I'm gonna show you this trick I just recently learned from Scott Barnes to get a more chiseled jawline. I was applying my contour more so like on this visible part of my jaw, but you actually don't wanna do that. You wanna apply it underneath your jaw, just like this. Just like a really little bit. You don't want to overdo this. You don't want to have like a dark, shadowy, like beard thing going on. And so I just blend that out with the same brush and drag it towards my chin. And I actually also drag it up on this area here because I would like this to look a little bit smaller and a little bit softer. So I'm just gonna drag that up. So the last thing I'm gonna do with this contour stick is I'm gonna contour my nose. Most people are really intimidated by nose contour, but it's actually not that hard. So for me, what I like to do with nose contour is I like to take it right on where I can see shadow on my nose. I don't wanna go like too far on this area of my nose, and I definitely don't wanna go on the bridge. So I'm just gonna be really precise and just very lightly, just like that. So to blend that out, I'm gonna go in with this Royal & Langnickel Balm 210 brush and just drag it and blend it up into my brow. Right up here. And I just wanna be really gentle with this. I don't want it to look too harsh, so I'm just tapping, blending. Blend out the tip. And then what I like to do as well, I will use the brush I used foundation on, and I will just kind of press on top just in case there are any harsh lines. Moving right along into powder bronzer, I'm just gonna set the cream we just applied with a powder. This one that I'm using is by Fenty Beauty. It is in the shade Into Sun. As you can tell, this bronzer is very well loved. It is the perfect shade for my skin. If you have fair skin and you're looking for a nice natural bronzer, I definitely recommend this one. I love the formula, I love the color. And I'm just gonna press that right on top of where we applied that contour. The reason I am doing this is just to intensify the color and set it in place so it doesn't slide around as much, because creams tend to be a little bit more slippery, so I like to just set it down into place with the powder. Okay, so now for a little trick to sharpen up your contour, just in case you blend it a little far down on your cheek. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder in the shade Fair, and I'm just going to dip in a little powder brush, and I'm just going to take that right along the bottom of my cheekbone and just kind of sharpen this area up a little bit. Just kind of lifting up. See how it just lightly sharpens that area without making it look too crazy? You can also do this with concealer or foundation, but for me, I just feel like that's a little too harsh. I prefer to do it with powder most of the time. So as you can see, we're looking pretty snatched. Our cheekbones are contoured. So as you can see, that's made quite a difference already in the structure of my face, just the contouring portion. So I'm gonna go in now with the NARS Air Matte Blush in the shade Hushed. I am loving this formula. I also really love this shade Hushed. It just looks like a really natural, soft blush. This formula is also really cool. It's kind of like a putty finish. I can't really describe it. I honestly have nothing to compare it to. It's just really unique. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that with a stipple brush. I'm gonna focus that higher up on my cheeks, just to give us a more dramatically lifted look. I also like to take a little bit of blush right across my nose. I think it looks really cute. Already, I just feel like this sucks my cheeks upwards quite a bit. The last step I'm gonna do for the face is apply some highlighter. This is the Tower 28 Super Dew No Shade Highlighter, and I love this highlighter. Honestly, I haven't been a huge fan of highlighters that are like shiny or glittery. I don't know why, I just never reach for them. I don't find that they look particularly natural, but this looks so natural. It just looks like your skin is naturally glowing. It doesn't have any shimmer, no glitter, nothing. I'm a huge fan of this product. So I'm actually just gonna use my finger to tap that in on the highest point of my cheekbones, kind of just under my eye around this area, and blend that in, just pouncing it on the skin. I'm also amazed that this product, since it's kind of like a balm, it doesn't disrupt my foundation underneath. It just looks really fresh. All right, so now that the face is done, we are going to move into eyes. We're gonna try and achieve a really nice lifted sort of cat eye look, but still natural. So the first thing I like to do is actually go in with the same bronzer that I used on my cheeks, which is the Fenty Into Sun powder, and I'm just gonna blend that into my crease. By the way, the brush I'm using for this is a Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease Brush. So I'm just lightly applying that bronzer shade in my crease, and what I do to achieve a lifted look is I make sure I'm dragging this product up towards my temple. It might seem a little excessive to drag it this far out, but trust me, it just makes such a difference, honestly. I'm also gonna take the same shade on a Zoeva 230 brush and just drag it slightly underneath my lash line. Nothing too heavy and not all the way in. I'm just gonna stick to the outer half just to bring back the natural shadows. And again, just dragging that color up in the same shape we were kind of mapping out there. So now I'm gonna go into my Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette, and I'm just gonna mix together the shades Transition and Absolutely, and I'm just gonna lightly start building that up in my outer crease. I'm still keeping this quite natural, just slowly building up in layers until I'm happy with the intensity. And just to soften it up, I do like to go back in with that fluffy shader brush I used on the first step of the eyes and just soften up the edges. So next up, I'm gonna be dumping. Why did I say dumping? I'm gonna be dipping into Divine, and I'm just applying that on my lid to brighten things up a little bit. So now I'm going to be dipping into the shade Scandal, which is the darkest matte powder shade in the palette. And I'm taking this on a small angled brush. This is actually the Patrick Ta for Brows angled brush, but I'm going to actually be using it as an eyeliner brush. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating winged liner with eyeshadow. I'm going to be hugging my lash line quite tightly and following that elongated lifted shape that we've already carved out. And I'm just bringing this about halfway across my eyelid, just because I find when I bring my liner all the way to my inner corner, it really closes my eyes. And for this look, I just want really bright, lifted, open looking eyes. But if you have a lot of lid space or big eyelids, definitely feel free to bring your liner in all the way. It's very personal. And if it gets a little bit too intense on the outer corner, I just kind of tap it with my finger just to diffuse that a little bit. Okay, so I'm liking the way this looks, although right here, right along that bottom line of my eyeliner is not as sharp as I would like it to be, so I'm gonna fix that up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of concealer on a really little brush. This is a MAC 231 and I love this brush for cleanups. It is so tiny. I like to clean up around my brows, my liner with this brush. Highly recommend. So yeah, I'm just going to did eye going on. It's still subtle and still natural because it's brown. I find black sometimes can be a little bit too harsh, but if you prefer black, by all means. So before I go into mascara, I'm just gonna apply this Makeup Geek Espresso Kohl Liner in my tight line. This is honestly probably one of the best kohl liners I've ever used. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't budge. It's easy to blend out, and I love this color. If I were to recommend one color from the Makeup Geek Kohl Liner collection, I would recommend this one. It is just chef's kiss. And now we're gonna move right into mascara. I'm gonna be going in with my Lancome Lash Idol mascara, and I've been just loving this mascara so much. I used to really love the Maybelline Falsies mascara because it has a curved brush, but I recently just stopped using it. I don't know why, but I recently tried this one out and I am just in love. The curved brush, I feel like makes such a big difference, at least for me personally. I feel like it just curls your lashes different. So I think I'm gonna leave my bottom lashes without mascara because I just wanna keep the focus mostly on the upper part of my eyes to just keep it lifted, go in with the theme, sculpted, lifted, you know. What I will do next is I'm gonna take this Swede Bright Satin Kohl Liner and I'm just gonna apply that in my waterline. Honestly, you guys, this kohl liner is the best waterline liner. It's a little bit pinkish, which I didn't know how I felt about that before, but it honestly just brightens your eyes so naturally and it doesn't look super weird. Like sometimes I find white can be a little too harsh and sometimes even like the beiges, they just like don't look right, but this one really does it for me. I love it. All right, so this step is optional, but I'm gonna do it for the video. So I learned this trick from a YouTuber named Sigonia and I just love it so much. I'm gonna use these Ardell natural lashes in the style 421. As you can see, these are short in the inner corner and also short in the outer corner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut them right in half and use one lash as two outer corner lashes. I feel like when I do this, it's just more of a natural look since I'm just applying a lash on the outer corners. And I also love it because I can use one lash for two lashes. Now my lashes last so long. So once that glue gets tacky, I am just gonna pop this on the outer corner. And voila. I feel like these lashes look pretty natural. I just love an outer corner lash, especially for looks like this. I think it's really pretty. All right, that is it for today's look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, I would love it if you subscribed and gave this video a thumbs up. Also, please leave a comment for what kind of videos you want to see on this channel. I would really love your input. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.